It's episode 9. Welcome back, and this week is a big one. This week sees me logging my biggest volume from my 7 days of running with 74 kilometers on the clock. As always, the weather in Ballarat is pretty shite, and I'm about to tell you all about it and how I feel.
Good morning, and welcome back to episode 9. So, day 1, 45 minutes easy. Doing this before work today. So it's currently 4 degrees, and I am loving life.
Thursday, and I'm in the gym on the treadmill for session number 1 of the week, which is 7x1k off 60 seconds. Now, I had originally wanted to keep speed style sessions rolling for my first session every week, 400s, 600s, 200s, but now I'm in that final sort of 9 to 8 week run towards the Melbourne Half. The kilometer reps are likely going to provide me with a much more specific purpose towards my goal, so in they come. I do still think every 2 to 3 weeks it wouldn't be a bad idea to do some 400s or 600s or 200s just to touch speed, so I'm going to be sure to sprinkle them in as well. I smashed this session pretty comfortably. I started off at 507 kilometers and then I worked down to 457s for the last 3 reps. And my heart rate was pretty low. It was like 152 area for the 457 per K. I was stoked with that, to be honest. I do have to remember though, this is a gym treadmill, so who actually knows how fast I'm running? But I'm going to tell myself it was really easy and they were 457s.
So you lie to yourself to be happy. There's nothing wrong with that. We all do it.
Friday, and midweek long run for me on a Friday, but it makes sense to me. So did the 7x1k yesterday on the treadmill at the gym, and that was good. Like, I kept it real controlled. Paces were basically in that sub-threshold category, and I don't think my heart rate got above 152 at 457, so that was good. For the long run today, 70 minutes, and trying to wind the pace back from last week. I'm kind of thinking like 555 area would be good for midweek long run. So a little harder than easy, but not pushing the needle too far. And then I got some easy days after this before next session kind of deal. I've been reading Mary Cain's biography. This is not about running, and it is blowing my mind. Crazy. Actually, to the point where I was like, did this actually happen, or is Mary Cain actually crazy? But nobody's come out and said any different. Some people have actually confirmed it. Parents, a whole other level of crazy I didn't know existed, and just bullying. So yeah, I'm listening to a Lane 9 podcast this morning with her. I'll put it on the screen. So far so good, but what a story. Highly recommend checking out that book if you have not.
The Mary Cain book is an amazing read. I cannot recommend this enough for people who are interested in the sport of running, especially for parents of females in the sport. The book is a confronting insight into what the elite world of running can be like. Hopefully, things are changing, but this is a real, brutally honest insight into people that hold power and the influence they have over younger people in the sport, and it's honestly rather scary. The Lane 9 podcast was amazing. I highly encourage you to add this to your long run playlist if this is a topic you're interested in linking in with Mary Cain.
All right, well, we're done. Just back to the car. Just over 12 Ks, 5:47 average, I think it was, for 144 heart rate. So 5:47 average, yeah, for 144 heart rate. So again, really happy with that for 70 minutes. It is that little bit over easy, but not by too far that I think it's an issue. And then I'll just have 2 really easy days now before the next session, and it's an easy long run this week. So yeah, I think I'm traveling really well. I just got to be sensible with it, and because things are going well, don't get carried away. That podcast was really good. Really good. Mary Kane's story is insane. I don't think I gave a lot of context to it. I think I'm going to do it in the voiceover that would have been before this, so maybe I already have provided the context now. But that book is phenomenal. My daughter is reading it at the moment. She can't put it down. She's really enjoying it, and I think it's really good for her to see what's out there and the reality of it and things like that. And hopefully it's changing, but there's a lot of crazy. So highly recommend that book. Highly recommend checking out that podcast. It's a good one. And yeah, I'm going to go home and have some food, and then gym, and then night shift.
Then it was gym time, and I only got 1 gym session in this week, which is still better than 0. But again, I really do want to try and hit those 2 sessions per week. It is only 2 hours out of a whole week. Make sure you don't neglect your strength work.
Hello, it is Saturday, and I think it might rain.
It's gonna rain!
Coming off night shift, so I got another horrendous sleep. Probably fairly broken up for 4 to 5 hours, but definitely not ideal recovery. Actually thought about having a rest day today, as I wondered what I would gain from getting out, but at the same time, on the other side of it, I was like, oh, I just wouldn't mind even getting out for, even if it's only 30 minutes, easy, just to keep putting the kilometers into my legs, as we're kind of in that half marathon slot portion of the build now, with 8 weeks to go or whatever. So kinda ummed and ahed, and I don't know if it's the right choice, but I'm just gonna do 30 minutes, really easy, really slow, because my legs, my left hamstring awareness is slightly elevated today, and obviously I didn't get my sleep. So yeah, that's it. Hello. So easy run today, and it is the XCR round for the half marathon around the lake, and there's a 6k too. So Liv wanted to run the 6k, so put her in the 6k, and she's off running now, and I'm just doing an easy run. So watched her go past, found a little group to run in, and hopefully I'm gonna run this way, and I'll catch her at around 4 or 5k and see how she's faring. But beautiful Ballarat weather. What else would you rather do? Go, Livy. Good job. Almost home, mate. Doing well.
I'm very pleased to report that Liv had an absolute cracker of a run. She ran a 5k PB in her 6-kilometer race, which was also a 6-kilometer PB as well. So a huge W for her, and one super proud dad. Local legends Ben the Lover Ludbrook raced in the half marathon, whilst coaching legend Mitch Dark Horse Thompson cruised through with an over and under sessions. I fetched his water bottle too. Teamwork.
Well, hello. It's Monday. And the weather is shit. Got 4 degrees. It's raining. There's no wind, so I did say I would take that, so maybe it's not so bad. But anyway, session today, I'm gonna do 2x2k off 3-minute floats, and then 4x1k off 2-minute floats.
Prediction? Yes, prediction. Pain.
Alright, I'm all warmed up. My motivation is at an all-time high. And I keep thinking about the fact that I could have done this at the gym on the treadmill. But the dog made me feel so guilty that here we are. So, let's go do it.
Monday and the weather really turned it on in Ballarat. A few places in Victoria actually flooded. Vic Park here was underwater with road closures. So I went to the lake as I figured that nobody would be as dumb as me to be running around in this.
Oh, I don't think I'm a lot dumber than you thought that I thought I was once.
And I was pretty much right. It was a joyful experience. The session, as mentioned, was 2x2k off 3-minute floats, and then a 4x1k off 2-minute floats. These 2k reps felt really solid. I was in that whole kind of flow state kind of vibe. I was averaging 458s per kilometer, and I felt really good. My floats didn't go above 528 pace, which for me is a huge positive, especially when I think back to previous sessions I've done with floats where I tend to blow up. When I hit the 1k reps though, things got a little harder, and I felt like I had to make a real effort to try and be where I wanted to be, which was essentially the same as the 2k reps. The first 2 reps of my 1ks are around the 503 mark, but the last 2 I seemed to find something, which is probably meaning I tried way too hard, and I hit 452s for those. So all in all, it was a positive session. It was a big session though.
It's wet.
That's what she said.
Alright, well I'm done. And that was pretty brutal, to be honest. I struggled in those 1km repeats. The 2s felt pretty smooth, and then when I got to the 1ks I just really struggled to hit pace. The last 2 were alright though, but they were hard. Just changing shoes now. DV8 Elite 3 again. Cannot knock it for absolutely mud puddle freestyle conditions and sloshy paths. So yeah, if I had worn something like the Evo SL, I think I would have been slipping and sliding all over the place. So good choice. It was about 10.5k for the full session, 505 average I think, including the reps and the floats. So again, it's good, it's improvement, just got to keep nudging it along. It'll be interesting to see how I pull up tomorrow too, because as I said, that was pretty hard. But anyway, let's go get this cool down done, go home, get warm. Brr. Well, g'day. It is the end of my week. It's Tuesday. And it's not raining today, so that's a bonus. It is freezing, and my gloves and my beanie from yesterday are in the wash. So I didn't plan that very well last night. Now, monster week for me. Like at the end of this long run today, it's gonna be around the 70k mark for the 8 days, slightly over. And don't think I'm a very big fan of how I sorted this week in terms of the sessions was 7 by a K, and then yesterday, because of the way it had to land, it ended up being yesterday, was the 2 by 2, 4 by 1, which just feels like a really big week for someone as ordinary as me. So, and I don't mean that in a bad way to myself, I just mean that's a fucking big week. So I originally had 19 Ks on the long run today, and I've tuned it down to 16 and a half, just to try and make the increase from the last 8 days to this 8-day cycle not as severe, because it was going to be a massive jump, and generally we all know how that goes. Now this morning the king returned, European 5,000 meters, Jakob the Kingebrigtsen, coming back 11 months I think since his last race, wins. Crazy. Watched it this morning, it was awesome. So stoked to see him back, and yeah, we'll tuck into this long run. I'm going to come back and talk about Mary Cain's book that I'm still tipping through, and how mental that is and why you should absolutely read it in a bit. I don't want to spoil it all now. Let's go this way. Alright, well I just hit 15 Ks, so I'm nearly home from my suburban long run. And you might be wondering, why are you doing a suburban long run today? Where's the bush? Well, I don't know what the bush is like after yesterday's rain, so that's one. And two, forestry operations. So all the road closure signs out there are because they're chopping down all the pine trees and that. And on the weekends they don't work, so you can run through there, no worries. But in last week's video, I didn't put it in there, someone saw me running through there and they were not pleased, even though I was not near the machines. But anyway, I just didn't want to deal with that today, or risk if it was completely swamped out there. So suburban jungle it is. Now onto my want to talk about section, the Mary Cain book. So I spoke about it on, I think on the midweek long run I was raving about it, but I was kind of only a quarter of the way into the book, and it was just crazy hearing about her accomplishments and, you know, some crazy stuff there with cross-country parents and things like that. But I'm near the end now, and this book takes a dark turn, like crazy, mind-blowing, eye-popping, what the hell did I just read kind of stuff. And I don't want to spoil it, but I don't want to not provide any context either. But it is insane what they put this girl through. The Nike Origin project that was run by Alberto Salazar, who was given a lifetime ban after all this stuff came out. And it is crazy, from shaming people about their weight to just ridiculous workouts to just pushing, and then this book goes through all of the impacts a young girl going through this has, and some of it's pretty confronting. But if you enjoy running, please get this book and read it, or if you know me, I will lend it to you. But yeah, there is another girl that ran, my arms are dead. There's another girl that ran in the Nike Origin project as well, named Kara Gosher, I think it was. she put out a book as well called The Longest Race. So I've ordered that as well. So I'm gonna be full of stories. But yeah, it's blowing my mind. My eldest daughter Liv's reading it at the moment, the book, and I had to pull her aside yesterday and just talk about some of the parts I'm up to, because I don't want to hide her away from her. I don't want her to have this impression that the world and professional running and stuff like that is this lollipop wonder place, but some pretty confronting themes in there as well. So yeah, all right, I got 900 meters to go and we're done. Let's get to the end. Well, we're at the end, aren't we? So 16.58, an hour and 39 minutes at 6-minute K pace for an average heart rate of 139. So pretty good. I'm pretty proud of myself for scaling back my long run this week, just not wanting to push things too far. That's personal growth. So yeah, tick another solid week. As I said, for that 8 days, I think it'll be around 73 maybe, somewhere like that. So that's pretty good for 8 days. For me, it's pretty good. And I feel like I am traveling really well. Yesterday was interesting because to run like 458 kms kind of thing, and for it to feel hard obviously isn't the greatest sign in the world heading towards the half marathon, because I would ideally like to be able to run like 455s for the whole thing. But it's still 8 weeks out. We'll just keep kicking it along and see how we go. But yeah, another good week down. Tick the box, get the book. I'll see you all next time. Bye.